Greetings and welcome to another episode of Sonic Odyssey, the video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. Before we begin, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all things Sonic Odyssey. Liking the video helps get the viewership a little bit more up, so please make sure you hit that like button. And also share the video through social media channels by clicking the share button, and you can share through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There are other choices as well. It's a great way to get word out and about the videos. Also, if you're inclined, you can visit our Patreon page. I don't make any money from YouTube because my videos make use of musical clips, and YouTube sort of frowns on that. So I have a Patreon page set up where you can donate anything from a couple of dollars a month upwards. You can donate enough to get your name listed in the end credits of each video, or you could even donate enough to select an album for me to review. And hopefully there's something there for you to choose from. I think the tiers are pretty evenly balanced. Today we're looking at David Bowie's 5th studio release, released in June 1972, entitled The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Often this title is just shortened to Ziggy Stardust for simplicity's sake. Ziggy Stardust is a glam rock proto-punk album about Bowie's titular alter ego, an androgynous bisexual rock star who acts as a messenger for extraterrestrial beings. Let's hear a bit of the album opener, 5 Years.
Of a Cadillac. The cop knelt and kissed the feet of a priest, and a queer threw up the sight of that. I think I saw you in an ice cream parlor, drinking milkshakes cold and long, smiling and waving and looking so fine. Don't think you knew you were in the song. And it was cold and it rained, so I felt like an actor, and I thought of more, and I wanted to get back there. Your face, your race, the way that you talk, I kiss you, you're beautiful, I want you to walk. We got 5 years stuck on my 5 years. What a surprise, we got 5 years.
Basically, the first 2 verses of 5 Years are told from the any man's perspective, learning of the impending doom of planet Earth. It is in the 3rd verse where Ziggy indirectly introduces himself to the song and, speaking directly to the listener, says he feels like an actor, all the while the chant of 5 years rises to a shriek and at the coming end of the world. In deciding to talk about this album, about which literally thousands of pages have already been written by people much more qualified than myself, I decided to focus on the bookends of the album. But before we get to the album closer, a brief look at the body of the album is required. For instance, Soul Love, the 2nd track on the album, is an optimistic look at love in the period of this impending doom. Moon Age Daydream fully introduces the Ziggy character in grand flamboyance. Starman is heard from the any man perspective again and speaks of Ziggy's hopeful message for planet Earth, into the people of Earth, that there is a chance at redemption. Lady Stardust, Ziggy in all his flamboyant androgyny, is the star rising. Here we have him singing songs of darkness and dismay, but it is the star of Ziggy that is rising at this time. Ziggy Stardust, the song itself, shows the entire rise and fall of the character, which brings us to the closer, Rock and Roll Suicide. And let's hear a bit of that clip.
Time takes a cigarette, puts it in your mouth. You pull on your finger, then another finger, then cigarette. The water wall is calling, it lingers, then you forget. Oh, ho, 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 you're a rock and roll suicide. You're too old to lose it, too young to choose it, and the clock waits so patiently on your song. You walk back.
Herein is presented the dissolution of the protagonist. Ziggy is pleading with the audience to give me your hands before he is ultimately torn to pieces by the alien beings. It's a pleading song at the same time that it's also showing the Ziggy character has sort of lost his way. He's become a deer trapped in the headlights and doesn't know how to escape this fame that he has accrued for himself, but also wants to still be this hopeful harbinger of a message of hope and possibility for the earth. So he does end up unfortunately being torn to pieces by the extraterrestrial beings. That is Ziggy Stardust, the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it. There's so much more that can be said about each song individually, and individual lines and individual lyrics which have subtext and subtle meanings and slang interpretations. It's a rich, dynamic album. Sonically speaking, the album is a lot of acoustic guitar. David Bowie plays piano and acoustic guitar and electric guitar, but mostly acoustic on this album. Rick Wakeman lays in on a couple of tracks with keyboards. It's a proto-punk album. When you listen to songs such as It Ain't Easy or Star, you can hear the proto-punk elements that were laid down. This is 1972, long before the Ramones or the Sex Pistols came along. But it's got that sound to it. It's got that edginess to it. And for the most part, the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars is an amazing listen from start to finish, and that's really how it should be taken. It should be taken from beginning to end in one listen. If I were to give it a review, I would have to give it probably 5 out of 5 stars. It's a perfect album in every regard, from the sonic landscapes that are painted, the different styles For instance, I mentioned the song Soul Love before, and that one kind of has a jazzy beat to it. Lady Stardust has elements that bring across this melancholy and despair in the music itself. And of course, the ending track, Rock and Roll Suicide, really brings the story to a great finality. So, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie, 1972. Great album, one that should be listened to by everybody, and I hope that you'll give it a listen if you haven't already. And that does it for us today. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope that you'll come back for more Sonic Odyssey. Please again remember to like the video if you enjoyed what you saw, and share the video through social media, and also subscribe to the channel. And again, please consider visiting my Patreon page if you're so inclined to donate a little something to help keep the channel going. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you with the next video. And until then, peace and have a great day. Bye.